Hey guys, welcome back. It's Sam Reese here at HeavyTek. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, and we're going to be reviewing a USB hub. It's nothing new. There's plenty of those things out there on Amazon and Newegg. Probably as many as you can count on your hand, or sand in the yard, or leaves on a tree. There's many different companies producing these type of things. What makes this one particularly different is kind of using one of the new upcoming standards is USB Type-C. Now this is an Aplomb, Apple something, I don't know, it's A-P-L-O-M-B. However you want to pronounce it. They have a 1 in 7 link USB Type-C hub. It's real cool. So it has a USB Type-C connector that will be able to work on Mac and Windows alike devices, or just regular PC devices and Mac devices. The interfaces is you have 3 USB 3.0 ports, 1 HDMI port, a USB Type-C power delivery port, and a micro SD and SD card slots. I hooked up a lot of different things to this hub. I hooked up chargers, I hooked up multiple external hard drives, micro SD and SD cards. Now the caveat to this device, which is really nice, you know, there's not a whole lot of drawbacks, but just maybe some personal things that I would like to see on it, but you can access both SD cards at the same time. So whatever the card reader reads first, that's the one that you're going to be accessing. So rather the micro SD or the regular SD, you can't have them both in and then access information off of both those disks, but off of both of those flash drives. So far it's hooking up multiple USB devices. That is no problem. I hooked up 2 USB 3.0 external hard drives. It was able to recognize them both, and I could read information, transfer, no problem. Now this device it's really meant for laptops. Now since I don't have a laptop that has a USB Type-C connection that I was able to do for most of this testing, you know, I used one of my high-end motherboards, like the Apex 9 we have over here, does have a USB Type-C connector. So it was really easy to hook it up to the back of the test bench. It had no problem supplying enough power to the hub, so I was able to activate all the devices. I had all kinds of things hooked up to it. I plugged in my iPhone and I was able to charge it, no problem. I didn't need extra power from the power delivery port to power all the devices. But that's not like to say that that is uniform across all devices. So it really depends on what you're using. You might need the power delivery port if the device that you're using does not supply enough voltage to access all your other peripherals. So, you know, you don't have to install any drivers. It's straight plug and play. Microsoft recognized it right away. I was able to access those things. There's nothing extra I had to do. One of the gripes that I have is probably more for the standard than the device itself, is the 4K. It has a USB, not USB, it has a HDMI 4K pass-through, not pass-through, but a VGA port here. But it only really works for Mac products, you know, because they run everything through one port. And then most other regular PC components, they treat it as like a generic USB port. So it just transfers information that way. So it's not going to work if you just have like a regular, you know, laptop that supports Windows. It's not going to recognize it and use it as a display to extend it. I tried using an iGPU and a discrete, and both of those just don't work. I was able to borrow my buddy's Mac, and then it plugged in right away, and I was able to extend the display that way. So the HDMI, which is a drawback, is really meant for Mac products. Now if it could ever figure out a way to fix this where you can use it on, you know, Mac and Windows, then that'd be great. But so far, most manufacturers are just using the USB Type-C port as a generic USB. So if you intend on buying this device, and you're thinking you're going to be using this with a regular like Windows-based laptop, most likely it's not going to work. But if you're using any Apple product, you should have no issues using a device like this. Now it's not completely, you know, useless, because we all know that newer laptops, they do have USB ports, but real estate is limited. You might need to plug something else in, another cable access. This does give you the ability for a couple of more ports that you can attach extra peripherals to that you can access. Now, so far using it on a desktop, I kind of like it because I do have an SD card reader from Ugreen, because I need to take what's off of the SD card when I'm filming and then put it on my computer, and all those ports on the back of the computer are a little, they're taken up by, mice, keyboards, other devices that are plugged in, printer. So this gives you a couple more ports, so it's not completely lost on, using on a desktop. It'd just be better if more case manufacturers were using Type-C connectors on the front I/O, because then this would really be cherry. For the most part that I'm seeing, it's either on the motherboard or on the back I/O, the motherboard, that you would have to access your Type-C port. Like I mentioned before, the HDMI is 4K, but it's only at 30 Hertz. So you're not gonna get a 4K at 60, it's only 4K at 30. All in all, it's a pretty nifty device. If you have a lot of things plugged up to this, it's gonna get a little warm. It doesn't get really hot, but you can kind of tell that it's working, and that probably has something to do with the power delivery going through the device and accessing those other devices that are connected to it. Or the only other issue that I had, I wish the cord itself was detachable. So if you wanted to have, let's say, a longer Type-C cable, and they do make a male-to-male, so it's something they could actually do, where if you wanted to place the hub closer to where the devices were at, like if you had them on a table, if you had them like separated a little while away from your computer, a detachable cable would be great. That way you can run it closer to those devices, have it further away from something. I've heard saying that the longer the cable can degrade the speeds, so I'm not sure about that, or is that something they can implement, but it'd be pretty nice if it's something that they can do. Other than that, it does what it does. It's not any different than anything else you can find out there. The price tag for this is $35 even. There's a link to Amazon in the description below where you can pick one of these up. It has some really nice construction. It's solid, ABS plastic and aluminum. So, it hits the ground or something, it's not fragile where it's going to break. But if you're looking for that nice travel hub where you need to plug in multiple devices, you need something quick, small, that's gonna plug in, and you wanna take advantage of USB Type-C, then I definitely recommend picking this up. Price isn't too bad. There's similar products like this that are priced a little bit around where it's at and higher. So anywhere from like 30, to 60 bucks, you're gonna be seeing devices like these. But I think Aplomb has a nice little price point at $35. It's not too expensive. You're getting what you pay for. Just to know that there's some things, there's some caveats with using this device, like the SD card reader, which, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's a little minor annoyance. I'd like to be able to access both at the same time, because I usually have audio on a micro SD and the video on a regular SD card. So I like to see if they could fix that where you can access both ports at the same time. I don't know if it shares it with the USB 3.0 on this, or it's something where there's only so much bandwidth it can use. But other than that, that's the only thing I'd like to see. Maybe a detachable cable and something to fix the port that it'll be able to work with regular PC components. So that's just a quick video for you today, guys. I hope you like it. Go ahead and check this out. Like I said, the link to this product is in the description. Is there anything else you guys like to see, hear? Want a little dancing, want a little romance, something? I'm not here for that, but I just really just do PC stuff. So if you guys want to see anything else, leave it in the comments. And as always, be awesome, be heavy. See you on the next one. Have USB speeds up to 5 gigabytes per second. Gigabits per second. Gigabytes? Gigabits? I don't know. However you want to pronounce it, it's 5 and it's giga. The large number.